Boom Chanka, it's the pig here. How's it going? Hope you're all having a good one. Just a very quick video from me today, just jumping on here live to talk about the article or the news stories that's currently going around all the major sports sites at the moment, which is that Manchester United have reached an agreement with Crystal Palace for the amount for the transfer of Aaron Wan-Bissaka to Manchester United from Crystal Palace, believed to be in the region of £50 million. We're talking £45 million up front, plus a further £5 million in add-ons. So a total amount of 50 million smackaroonies for a 21-year-old right back who's had one season in the top flight. But listen, he's a good young talent. He's only going to get better. I'm happy. We just need to get some players in, don't we? We've been bottle jobbing it all summer long. We brought Daniel James in, good player for the Championship, good prospect for the future. Wan-Bissaka excites me a little bit more just because I've seen what he's done in the Premier League last season. He was obviously Palace's breakout player last season, their player of the season, and he's actually the lowest paid player in their squad. He's on 10k a week at Crystal Palace, so he did obviously need to improve his career. This is the next step up, obviously. It should be the bloody top level, but unfortunately we've got a lot of work to do as a football club before we even get there. Hopefully he can be the sort of player that can be a part of that. People are moaning about the transfer amount, and trust me, it is a ridiculous amount of money for a defender who's not one of the best players in the world. His name's not Maldini or anything, do you know what I mean? He's Wan-Bissaka, good breakout season for Palace last year, but that's basically it. But in terms of the quality of the lad, it's exciting because he's somebody that can come in and improve our team, our starting 11 right now, but also should only get considerably better over the next decade. And if Manchester United keep him for that amount of time, then it would be a masterstroke of business. You know, if he turns out to be that sort of a stalwart for us, the way football's going, it's probably not that big of a transfer fee. Plus, if it doesn't work out, or he's improved to a certain point, or he wants to progress in his career, or he wants to change at some point, then United can always cash in and he can go off to Barcelona or wherever it may be for probably a considerably larger amount of money. So in terms of the transfer fee, it doesn't bother me, man. We've spent a lot of money before on players who haven't worked out. Let's just hope that this player does work out and then it will make sense. Rio Ferdinand was a crap load of money at the time, but when you look back on it, it's ridiculously cheap. But yes, I mean, the problem with United at the moment, we've got to get new players in. Aaron Wan-Bissaka is one of those players. He's been talked about for such a long time. I wasn't so sure that Potato King would manage to get the deal across the line because we all know what a meandering melt job the man is. I was expecting him to take a little bit longer about this, and nothing is finalised as of yet. Let me just put that out there. This is not a finalised done deal. We've just agreed the transfer amount with Crystal Palace of £50 million, 45 mil plus add-ons. Apparently they wanted to Manchester United to waive the sell-on clause that we have on Wilfried Zaha, and Manchester United stood firm on that because obviously we basically gave him away to him at the time. Another player who did not progress at Manchester United, obviously was a late Fergie signing, but who did not progress at Manchester United. So let's just hope Aaron Wan-Bissaka does progress at United. Because if you look at United bringing on youth players over the last few years, it's not been plain sailing for United. Players who should have come to United and should have turned into the very best players, like people like Martial and even Rashford when he burst onto the scene. If you look at where he is now, I would have thought he would have been a bit further along in his progression. Certainly Anthony Martial I thought would have been further along. So let's just hope that United can actually fulfill Aaron Wan-Bissaka's potential and fulfill Daniel James's potential and actually make them good players, because we haven't really done a fantastic job of doing that over the last few years at the club. So there we have it. But I hope the deal gets done. We need some players. The problem is clubs know that they can bend us over the barrel. They know we've got that freaking absolute meanderer Ed Woodward upstairs in charge of transfer proceedings, so they know they can take advantage of us. They know that we need players, and the situation we're in, we can't really attract or even go for the upper echelon type players. So we need to, hunt around in the bargain bin effectively. But the problem is there is no bargains for United right now when teams know that we need players. So £50 million for a good player who looks like he had a great season last year in the Premier League, looks like a real talent, looks like somebody who's only going to get better, should hopefully relish the opportunity of stepping up and playing for a fantastic side like Manchester United, who are one of the biggest clubs in the country. Okay, maybe in terms of footballing attributes, we're not right up there at the moment. We're honestly not, but if we're going to get back there, then we need players who are hungry, we need players who have something to prove, we need players who are getting better, who have ability, who have age on their side perhaps. You know, it's all well and good going out there and signing older, experienced players like a Mourinho or something like that. But if it doesn't work out, it leaves you going backwards because your players at the club are not progressing; they're just declining. And that's what United have in certain key areas. You look at people like Jones and Smalling, they're not getting any better now. They've passed that age. They're mature, experienced players, even though they're absolutely gash. They're supposed to be the most experienced defenders that we have at the club. So we've seen what happens in those instances when it doesn't work out. Let's just hope Bissaka can take it to a next level, not be another player who doesn't fulfill that potential or improve significantly at United, like a Smalling or like a Jones. And let's just hope United sort the bloody act out for the remainder of the transfer window. We do some bloody business. There's talk of Harry Maguire, 65 million apparently United are happy to pay for him, but we're not happy to pay 80. I don't really get that. I mean, if we need to get our man, look, it's a lot of money. I don't want to pay 80 million for him either. But the fact is the teams don't want to sell him. Why would Leicester City want to get rid of him? He's on a long-term deal. He's one of their best players. He's going to be England's centre-back for the next decade probably, or certainly 5 years, something like that. So why would they want to get rid of him? It only leaves a gaping hole at the back there. It's not like Phil Jones or Smalling's going to sweeten the deal in terms of an exchange player. So you can understand it. If you want to get the man that we need, you have to pay the money for it. And I don't want to do that. But the fact is, we cannot start the season with Jones and Smalling at the back there. Okay, we've got Bailey and Lindelof. Didn't work out too well for us over the last year. I know Lindelof came on leaps and bounds and looked like a great player for us, and I've got a lot of hope for him still, and even Bailey to an extent. But those need to be our sort of backup, rotationary players. Not backup all the time, but you know what I mean? The Wes Brown and John O'Shea. Problem is, we've got, instead of Wes Brown and John O'Shea, we've got Smalling and Jones playing the Vidic and Rio roles, which doesn't make any sense. At very best, they're playing the backup players. What we need is to bring quality in. So Harry Maguire seems like one of those players to me. I know there's a couple of other defenders that are being talked about. Do something, United. Just do something. Everybody who's tuning in right now live, I can't stick around long today, but I just wanted to jump on here very quickly because it is plastered all over the BBC and all over Sky Sports. And when it does get there, then there is usually something to back it up. So United have reached an agreement with Palace for £50 million for Aaron Wan-Bissaka, the right back, which everyone knows we desperately need because we've got an aging 33-year-old winger and in Ashley Young playing there. Valencia's gone. We've got Diogo Dalot. Let's talk about that for a second. Will this hinder the performance and the development of Diogo Dalot? Well, it may well do to a certain extent, but you have to remember he's still younger. Wan-Bissaka is, has got the more ability right now based on his full season that he had in the Premier League last year. Somebody that can come in and he's very athletic, very defensively sound. The statistics don't lie. Diogo Dalot's more of an attacking, flying wing back. He's got great crossing him. Aaron Wan-Bissaka's more of your stay back, defensive wing back. So he makes more sense from a shoring things up point of view because Manchester United leaking so many goals last year. Defensive frailties were the problem for United and of course offensive gashness, but defensive frailties at the back, all over the place, errors left, right and centre. We need to get some defensive bottle in there. And Aaron Wan-Bissaka is definitely the sort of player that can do that for us. He's an athletic player, defensively sound, etc. Right, guys, I'm going to read out a few of your guys' comments before I get on my merry way today. Appreciate everybody who's tuning in here. I know I've not done a video for a few days. I've been pretty manic, but it will be, obviously I'll try and get on here as much as I possibly can to keep you up to date with all the concrete happenings at Manchester United. There won't be any bollocks here. There won't be any random made-up BS. Just the proper stuff that you will see on this channel, and obviously you may end up seeing it later than other places, but at least I'm 100% sure that it is actually some steam behind it anyway. Alex Rudd, how you doing, mate? Thanks for getting in here and moderating this chat. Kevin Green, T3 Triple D, thank you guys for being the first few commenters on here. Comment here from Chris Chandra. Thank you very much for your comment, Chris. He comments and says 50 million isn't too much for a defender. Well, it depends who the defender is. It depends what it means, age and all that sort of stuff. You have to take this into effect. We're basing his valuation on the fact that, he's homegrown, the fact that Crystal Palace is a Premier League side and he was their player of the season last year at 21 years of age in his first debut breakout season for the club, representing them in the top flight. That shows ability and potential straight away. If he's doing that in a short spell in one season at Palace, that does show that he can be a quality player for United and in the future. And if you look at Man City, they spent that sort of money on Kyle Walker years ago, a couple of years ago. Obviously, Kyle Walker was one of the best players in the England national side and one of the best right backs in the Premier League, really. So he was much more further developed, much further on than Aaron Wan-Bissaka is at the moment. But football has come on slightly, and if you look at the potential, then hopefully Aaron Wan-Bissaka will be able to get to that level, that quality, within a couple of years. So I think it does actually make a lot of sense. And like I say, there is resale value in it. It's not like it's all going to go out the window if it doesn't work out. You're still going to get some money back, or you can move him on for a profit in a few years' time. But hopefully, what I'm hoping is he is just the next Manchester United right-back stalwart who just stays here for the next decade and turns into that quality, legendary United right-back that we have been so desperately missing for years, really. Obviously, Antonio Valencia had done a good job the last couple of seasons, being changed from a winger back to that sort of a flying wing back role. But I think United do need to defensively shore ourselves up. Back like when we had Gary Neville. Gary Neville could whip across him, but he was more defensively sound. So I think we do need more defensive players like that in those positions. It's all well and good playing with these overlapping flying wing backs like Diogo Dalot, but it can leave you exposed. In terms of the progression of Dalot, I think I was going to talk about that earlier and I just went off on a massive tangent. But yeah, hopefully it doesn't hinder him too much. He needs to be used as that backup player. He's also versatile and he's young. He can learn, he can play as a right mid, he can play as a right back, probably play at left back. So I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has a plan in place to develop Diogo Dalot properly, whilst also giving Wan-Bissaka the sort of impetus to be that main man at right back there. It makes sense. Vinny comments, Bruno Fernandes next, please. Yes, watch this space. Hopefully something will be happening there. Alex Rincon in the house. How you doing, Rincon? Thanks for stopping by with a little super chat. Much appreciated. No comment to go with it, but I hope you're well, mate. Richard James and Maximilian 7, shout out to you guys. Let's just read Richard's comment here. He says, I hope this Bissau turns out well. We're due a bit of luck with transfers. Wanking Bissau. That's not his name, mate, okay? I see what you did there. But we do need somebody with one big Saka at the club, don't we? Because we are lacking in the balls department, so hopefully he could be that player. Beats produced by CYM comments, or by CM comments, we have the Chuckle Brothers at the back. To me, to you, to me, to you. Oh no, we messed up and they've scored. That's basically how it goes. But listen, hopefully it won't be the case. There's talk of United maybe trying to get one of those players going in the opposite direction in another transfer deal. Hopefully it's true. Not many clubs are going to want him. Players like Jones and Smalling right now. But if the price is right, or it sweetens a deal, and a player and a team needs to improve in that position, or we're taking the player from them, like Leicester City, for instance. I know Leicester City won't want to go from Harry Maguire to Chris Smalling, but there's worse options out there. He's a good Premier League player. He's just not a top player. He's got too many errors in his game. Would Leicester City want him just in terms of a transitional period to fill that hole that Harry Maguire would leave, say? Then yes, they may. I mean, I doubt it, but they might. So there is possibilities for getting them out of the club. Aside from that, if we didn't have Woodward in charge, I'm sure we'd have done some more business in regards of players out this summer, because I just think Woodward's completely incompetent, man. I think he just hangs out on like some incompetent freaking director or chairman ball with Mike Ashley all the time doing nothing. But I really don't understand why Manchester United haven't got rid of players. Fair enough, it's difficult to bring players in right now. We don't want to overspend. We don't want to pay too much in wages. We don't want to do these things. We've done that over the last few years. It's not worked out well. But in terms of players out, surely there's some clubs out there who would take Smalling off our hands for 6 million or whatever and pay his wages, full wages that he's on right now, which I'm imagining are high compared to the talents that he has. But he is a good Premier League experienced player, so why don't other teams want him? There's a very good reason for that, because he's absolutely cash. Why have we not seen like some of the lower or even mid-table sides come in for cheeky transfer offers? They know the future and the speculation of these players is up in the air at the moment, so why wouldn't they want to come in? It's pretty obvious, because they're shit. Anyway, let's just read a few more comments out. I can't believe I'm just rambling on. I'm going to be late, but I've got to crack on soon, so I'm going to just read a few comments. Cantonar7, how you doing, mate? Good to see you in here. Comments, no official confirmation yet, son, so don't believe nothing yet. Well, I usually agree with you on that one, but I mean, this one definitely has some legs, because obviously the Sky Sports, BBC are announcing it. Apparently the deal has been agreed in principle. Now, you're right, it doesn't mean that the deal will go through. There's 100 things that could go wrong here, medical, or the clubs could just not be able to reach that final agreement and confirmation. So you're absolutely right. You will have to wait a confirmation on the channel for this, where I will confirm that it's fully gone through. But that'll probably be in the next couple of days, maybe even a week. Knowing our board, knowing Ed Woodward, knowing those guys, it'll be last day of the freaking transfer window. But yeah, totally agreed. Let's see what we can do in terms of finalising this deal anyway. But it does look like it's going to happen. Crystal Palace will probably want to cash in. Manchester United are desperate for the player. It makes a lot of sense. He's on £10,000 a week at Crystal Palace right now. United are going to pay him a lot more, but also not a ridiculous amount. So it fits everybody's transfer wage policy, all that sort of stuff. Beata Thompson says, well, that only took a month. One player. How long for the next 4 to 5 that we need? I have lost all hope already. I hear you, Beata. You know, it's been a poor transfer window from United. The owners, the board, we've shown what an absolute calamity we are. The management of the club is poor. We should have got a lot of business done early on. I was surprised we didn't have a couple of cheeky deals in the pipeline just from when the transfer window opened. That's what I was expecting, the sort of season we needed. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has obviously made it aware the sort of players he wants to sign, and he's probably given that list to Woodward, and Woodward's just put a pin in it. He's not doing piss all about it, basically. We got a comment here from Clam J, who says, I wan another signing. Come on, Eduplank, no time to rest. Yeah, absolutely. That's the problem. United fans are not going to be happy until we've done a lot more business than Daniel James and Wan-Bissaka. That's the problem. You know, Bruno Fernandes, if you've got those 3 players in, it's not the most terrible transfer window ever. But still, I'd like to see a little bit more improvement than that even. Are we going to be able to do that? That is the problem. England for the English comments. Calm down, mate. Bit of a controversial name there, but it says, if Maguire going to City, surely he won't be guaranteed to play every week. He comments and says, that's true. I think that's true. He won't be guaranteed to play there every week, but you have to remember that Otamendi's a little bit out of sorts. He didn't feature that much last season. Company's just moved on to Belgium to be a player manager. So there is a sort of little bit of a hole at Manchester City for him. Will that be the case? Will Maguire, would he favour the opportunity going to City? If he goes to City, he's going to challenge for all major honours. He's going to win trophies, absolutely. But if he goes to United, he can play more football. There's less competition for places. He could be part of something. It's still a big step up for him. It's up to him. What will Slabhead freaking Tombstone Face decide? Jack Delad comments and says, love you too, Jack Delad. Thank you very much for your inspirational messages on Twitter, mate. Good to see you too. Anthony Robbins says, the circus is back in Old Trafford to start next season. Well, I mean, the circus has never left town, really, lad. The circus never left town. We've still got the ringleader, Woodward, whipping it. I don't know who he's whipping, actually, because he doesn't seem to be doing a whole lot. Revo London comments, signing young, hungry players, high work rate is good. Sign Man United there is in talks that once Lukaku goes, we will straight away activate the release clause of Ben Yedder, France international, 40 million. Yeah, very, very good talent, absolutely. I mean, it's all speculation at the moment. We'll have to see. Will Lukaku even go? Hopefully Lukaku does go. A lot of talk about him going. Deal agreed with Inter, Juventus. There's all this speculation and stuff that's been talked about. None of it has reached the point where I think it's really that realistic. I do think he should go this transfer window. I think it makes sense for everybody involved. We've got a lot to do in terms of getting rid of players. The problem is United have paid these players an absolute fortune. So in order to get them out of the club, you've got to have a club mad enough to pay that amount of money, which nobody's going to do. Or we've got to then pay some of the wages. I'm not necessarily talking about Lukaku, because I think he's on like 260 a week, something like that. But Alexis Sanchez, for instance, there's teams definitely out there in world football who would take Alexis Sanchez on their books, absolutely, and he'd do a good job for them. But not for 500k a week. They can't pay that. Nobody in their right mind, other than that ball bag Woodward, would actually pay that sort of money for him. So the problem is United are probably going to have to end up paying another team £200,000 a week just to get rid of the bastard. Anyway, guys, it's 20 minutes in this video. Unfortunately, I do actually have to shoot and get on my day, but I much appreciate you legends tuning into this video. Shout out to everybody who's got involved in the comment section here. If I've not been able to read out your comment, I apologise, but come back in a couple of minutes once this has been published to YouTube, and get your thoughts in, and I'll try and respond to that a bit later on. Shout out to you, James Moscarop. Shout out to PT Snackback, all the usual legends, Rincon Rudd, everyone else. If I missed you, thanks so much for stopping by on the channel. Do us a favour before you go, smash a little cheeky like on it. Get your thoughts and opinions in below. Of course, you can tweet me, Instagram me, or Facebook. Mr. Flying Pig HD is my handle on all of those platforms, so please go and do that. But yeah, get your thoughts in. I really want to hear your opinions on the potential signing of Aaron Wan-Bissaka for £50 million. Do you think it's too much money? Do you think he's got the potential that we require and the ability right now, more importantly, to improve us overnight effectively, which is what we need? Get your thoughts in the comment section. Love to hear what you guys think about it. Until next time, I've been the Pig. You've been watching Flying Pig United. Get your opinions in below, and we shall see what everyone thinks about it. But I'll see you soon. I'll keep you up to date with the finalisation of this deal and any other deals that do happen. And if there's any real potent Manchester United news that comes out, you'll hear it here. Anyway, this is the Pig. Take it easy. Have a good day. I'll speak to you soon. Peace.